Hi, I'm Teryn and welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If you're new, I make a lot of skincare focused beauty content as well as fashion and live content. If that interests you, please be sure to check out my other videos, like this video, and subscribe. So if you've seen my Trader Joe's first impression review and demo of the daily sunscreen, this is kind of a follow-up to that video. I am going to be testing that sunscreen underneath makeup because on the copy, it says that this sunscreen would work really well underneath foundation and makeup. And based on the formulation and how similar it is to the Supergoop Unseen, I really want to test that out and try it out for a full day. So I already applied the foundation. If you do want to see that video, I will link it in the description box. If you haven't heard anything about this sunscreen, it is an oil-free invisible gel formula. It's SPF 40 and it's water and sweat resistant. So it sounds like it would be a great sunscreen to wear underneath makeup. I'm gonna test out the sunscreen underneath the Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation. I also did a first impression review and demo of this foundation on my channel, and I will link it in the description box. And I'm just gonna take a damp beauty blender. This is the Blending Ed by Beauty Bakery, and I'm just gonna buff this in. So first things first, the foundation applies really well over the sunscreen. There is no tackiness, there is no peeling, there is no separation. I think the sunscreen does a nice job of being a primer for the foundation. I think that it adhered really well. I don't see any issues with the sunscreen and foundation. Hopefully I won't. I am going to go ahead and apply a powder. I'm going to be using the Mented Cosmetics Loose Setting Powder in the shade Medium Deep. So this is it. I'm just going to go ahead and finish my makeup for the day, and then I will be back at the end of the day to show you guys how the foundation and the sunscreen interacted with each other. I'm going to be looking for separation, oiliness, any peeling, patches, whatever might be something that I think would be a good call out to see how this foundation and the sunscreen work out together. And just so it says how well the sunscreen works underneath makeup. Before I go, I'm going to be giving you guys a comment of the week. This week's comment of the week is from Miss Archie Girl 96. The comment is, your skin looks so good and hydrated. I'm starting to break out more around my time of the month. I'll definitely look into trying this new product. Thanks for your willingness to share your knowledge. And thank you so much for that comment. That comment was on my Topicals Faded video that is still a part of my morning skincare routine. And I will also link that video in the description box for anyone who is interested. Okay, so this is how my skin is looking almost 12 hours after I applied the sunscreen and the makeup on top of it. I would say that I don't see a lot of separation on my face. You might notice it on my nose, but I actually took like a paper towel today because I had a tickle on my nose and just like dabbed it, so I shouldn't have done that. But other than that, like, it was holding on very nicely. You can see on my forehead and on my cheeks where I didn't touch my face with the paper towel that my foundation is still intact. So I really do think this is just the outlier, and that's because of me. I do think that this sunscreen works well underneath makeup. My skin did get oily throughout the day. I have oily skin, and with that I did do touch-ups with powder on my face. But with this video, I'm assessing for separation, a little bit of the oiliness, transfer, all of that. I would say that the foundation probably would transfer. I don't think that this is like a primer sunscreen. It's definitely a sunscreen first with, you know, a little bit of a primer aspect to it, just because it really does melt on the skin and it does really well underneath the makeup. I definitely think that this sunscreen can be paired with foundation. If you do have oily skin like myself, I would probably apply a setting powder over the sunscreen and then a setting powder over the foundation. I just didn't want to do that for this video because I wanted to give a proper assessment of the foundation and the sunscreen working together. Not really working together, but being used together. I'm really enjoying the sunscreen. Like, this sunscreen does really well on its own. I did a video on that. Be sure to check it out if you haven't already. I think that this does really well underneath makeup. For me personally, seeing as I do have oily skin, I would do something extra. I would probably use an actual primer underneath my makeup just to try to slow down the oiliness of my skin. So for people with dry or normal skin, this would probably do a lot better. But for those of us with oily skin, we would probably need to add additional setting powders if we do decide to wear makeup. But wearing the sunscreen by itself, my skin like got a little bit of a sheen to it, but it did not get any type of serious oiliness that I'm really accustomed to when using most sunscreens. Overall, I think this sunscreen is a really great product. I will definitely be repurchasing it again. I think it's phenomenal. I love it. And I'm so happy that Trader Joe's released a sunscreen. I used their sunscreens in the past, but the SPF was too low for me. And I think this is just the perfect opportunity. It's a great dupe. It's an affordable dupe for the Supergoop Unseen. So I highly recommend heading out to your local Trader Joe's, or if you're ever near one, and purchasing this sunscreen. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments. How do you think the sunscreen pairs with makeup? As always, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment for more videos. Thank you again.